Hey guys, Bird Yugioh here. So today we are finally doing my budget Mermail deck. So by budget, I mean it's definitely under 100. I had probably half of the extra deck already in my possession, and some of those cards are a little pricey, but I'll give you some options that you can do, instead of some of the pricier ones, and then 90% of the main deck. And I paid about $60 for those on TCG Player. So yeah, if you guys want a great deal on cards, cheapest price, go to TCG Player. I have a link down in the description and in the comments, and you guys can use that, and it'll really help out the channel. But yeah, we will get right into this. I'll explain card choices, and then I'll also explain some cards that I already previously had. So like I said, I spent $60. This deck is probably more closer to like $80 price range, but still definitely budget, especially for a deck like this. That is just, you can go first, you can go second. You can just do a lot of cool stuff. You can go into synchros, Xyz, link summoning. It kind of just does everything, and it's also really fun. So let's get right into it. Starting off with the Mermail cards. And also, if you guys didn't notice, I'm trying a little bit closer camera angle. Let me know what you guys think of this. But yeah, of course, 3, Mermail Abystius. He is by far the best of the big Mermails, basically, the level 7s. You can discard one other water monster to the graveyard. You'll special summon this, and then when it's special summoned, you can add a level 4 or lower Mermail monster from your deck to your hand. So that's just amazing. Easy to get out. You get all your effects off by discarding them to the grave. He's just absolutely amazing. And then we played 2 Abyss Megalo. He's not as good, but he is actually still very decent. You have to discard 2 water monsters to the graveyard, which potentially could get off some really good effects. And then you can special summon him, and when he is summoned, you'll add an Abyss spell and trap from your deck to your hand. And you contribute one other attack position water monster, and this card can make a second attack during the battle phase. So you could potentially pull off some pretty good OTKs with Megalo. He's pretty good. And then the other Mermail cards you play, 1 Abyss Pike. When it's normal or special summoned, you can discard a water monster and then add a level 3 water monster from your deck to your hand. So he is good for getting some combos going. A lot of times that monster you add is going to be a Abyssgund. If she's discarded to the graveyard, you could target a Mermail in your graveyard, accept her, and special summon that target. So again, since you can link summon, you can synchro, you're going to have some pretty good targets for her usually. And then the last of the Mermails that we play is Abyss Mander. He's primarily pretty much just here to make this deck able to easily go into True King of All Calamities. It's a card, yes, it probably should go. It's kind of too overpowered, but this allows you to turn, basically you increase the levels of Mermail monsters you control by either 1 or 2. So say you have 2 of your level 7s on board, which are easy to get on board. You can make them level 9, and then you can go into your True King of All Calamities pretty easily by just banishing him from the graveyard. That's all you have to do with him. So pretty good. That's our small little Mermail monster engine that we play. And then on to the Atlantean engine. I really like it. It's a toss-up whether I like the Atlantean engine or the Deep Sea engine better. They're both extremely good. But starting off with one of your better starters, basically, is Netabyss, the Atlantean Prince. You just send one other Atlantean monster from his on the field effect. Send an Atlantean monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can add 1 Atlantean from your deck to your hand, accept him, and then if this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, so any of these, your big Mermails, you can target 1 Atlantean in your graveyard and special summon it. So he's just really good, gets all your plays going. And then 3 Atlantean Dragoons. This is by far the most expensive card in this deck. I want to say they're... Actually, I guess it's not by far the most expensive, but he's pricey. but he's definitely necessary at 3. All face-up level 3 sea serpents you control can attack your opponent directly, but that's not the main reason he's good. When this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can just simply add a sea serpent type from your deck to your hand. Simple as that. So you can search your Mermails, you can search your Net Abyss, and we have a lot more targets as well. Extremely good. The other Atlanteans we play, just 1 heavy infantry. I've seen some people play 2. That's up to you. But basically, the way you're going to use him, you can use his on-field effect. During your main phase, you can normal summon a level 4 or lower sea serpent type in addition to your normal summon. So that comes up every now and then. But mostly what you're using him for is when it's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you just target a face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. So that's cool. And then just 1 marksman. He's definitely not as good as heavy infantry because when he's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you target a set card your opponent controls and destroy that. So it potentially can be good, if your opponent plays a lot of back row, or there's just, even just 1 back row, you'll be able to pop it with him. So that's it for the Atlantean engine that we play. And then now on to the Deep Sea. And of course, you got to play pretty much the best one. Deep Sea Diva, not pretty much, she is by far the best one. When it's normal summoned, you special summon a level 3 or lower sea serpent type from your deck. So you can search out your Net Abyss, which is mostly what you do. Special summon your Net Abyss. Again, not Dragoons because he's not level 3 or lower. But you have some more targets with the Deep Seas. Really good. And then we play 3 Ministrel. It's a newer card, but I really like him. I kind of like the theme that they're going for. Basically, the rest of the Deep Seas that you'll see kind of want to just either look at your opponent's hand or mess with your opponent's hand in some way, and I think that's just really cool. Information is always good, seeing your opponent's hand. But this one, you discard this and 1 other water monster. So again, you could potentially get off quite a few effects with just that alone. And you look at your opponent's hand and banish 1 card from their hand face up until the end phase. And if this card is special summoned, you'll be able to you'll be able to send top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard and then target a level 4 or lower water monster in your graveyard and place it either on the top or bottom of the deck. But yeah, mostly you're just looking at your opponent's hand, banishing a card. Very good. And then we play 2 Deep Sea Artisan. This one, if this card is added from the deck or graveyard to your hand by the effect of a water monster, so you can search it off of Dragoons, basically. You can reveal this card and look at your opponent's hand. So again, just getting information. And if it's special summoned, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard and then target 1 level 4 or lower water monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You negate its effects, but that is pretty good as well. It's a level 1, so also a target for 1/1. And then last of the Deep Sea is Deep Sea Sentry. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can make your opponent banish 1 card from their hand face up until the end phase. So, that not as good because you don't get to choose, but still, obviously, can potentially be good. And if this card is special summoned, you send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard and target a level 4 or lower water monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So just all really good effects. That's why I was saying I don't know if I like the Atlanteans more or the Deep Seas. Probably the Deep Seas just because opening the Diva is absolutely amazing. And then kind of our other monsters that we play, some other tuners. Fishborg Launcher is really nice against level 1. So good for 1/1. It's not the best target, obviously, but this is one you want in your graveyard. Because if you have a monster in your graveyard other than Fishborg Launcher, and all of them are water, which is you're covered there. You can special summon this card from your graveyard. And then, it's obviously a level 1 tuner, which is really nice for going into your synchros. And then we also are playing Lapis Dragon, another tuner. This one is a level 5 tuner. So you have some lower level stuff, so you can Still go into some pretty powerful synchros. If this card is added from your deck to your hand, you reveal it and special summon it. And this card is added from your graveyard to your hand, you can reveal this and special summon it. But you have to banish it when it leaves the field. So yeah, you have many ways of getting him, onto the field. Or yeah, just special summon him for free, basically. And the last 3 monsters we play, 2 Gamma Seal. That just really allows the deck to go second. And it's just another water monster that you can easily discard for your Mermails. But again, just going second. Kaijus are just absolutely amazing. And then the last one is Mulan Glacia. If this card... So you special summon this by having exactly 5 water monsters in your graveyard, which is fairly easy to do with a deck that pretty much plays all waters. And then if this card is special summoned, you discard 2 random cards from your opponent's hand. And then if this face-up card leaves the field, you skip your battle phase. But yeah, just again, another way of getting cards out of your opponent's hand. It's really good, really nice to have. Definitely, if you're not playing this, definitely play it. Really good. So that is it for the monsters. For the spells, a newer one that is just really good. But I like it at 2, just because it is... Well, here, I'll just read it to you. So you banish a water monster from your graveyard, and then you can add a level 4 or lower Sea Serpent from your deck to your hand. So a lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes, you're not going to be able to activate this right away, because you do have to have a monster in your graveyard, a water monster. But obviously, adding that level 4 or lower Sea Serpent is searching you, like your Deep Sea Diva, your Net Abyss, you got Atlantean Dragoons, any of your other deep seas, you have a lot of targets. But yeah, very good card. We're playing 1 Abyss Scale of the Mizuki. This you only equip to a Mermail monster, gains 800 attack, and then when a spell effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, you negate it, send it to the graveyard. So this is a search card off of Megalo. And then the other one that I like playing is Abyss Scale of the Kraken. So the equipped Mermail monster gains 400 attack, and then when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field, you negate it and send it to the graveyard. So monster negate, spell negate, 2 most popular played effects in the game. You're gonna be able to negate them. Really nice. And then since you're doing so much searching and special summoning, and you just want a lot of effects going off, Called by the Grave, I really like in this deck. It's again one of those cards. This is one of them that I previously had, so I did not have to purchase it, with the $60 basically that the rest of this deck was. So you don't have to play this by all means. If you want to play like spell trap removal, you can do stuff like that. More deep sea area, one more of those. Completely up to you. I just felt, I had these sitting around, and they are extremely good, and you just really don't want to get hand trapped if you can help it. So, Called by the Grave I felt was necessary. Instant Fusion is kind of cool. I actually, at the moment, I'm playing 2 targets in the extra deck. I would suggest only 1. I haven't really narrowed down which one I want to go with. But yeah, you have some pretty good targets for that. Foolish Burial. Usually you're going to be trying to send your Fishborg launcher to grave, or just loading up with whatever you can to like special summon off of Artisan or whatever you're doing. And then lastly, 1 for 1. You have some pretty powerful targets for 1 for 1. Probably the best one being your Net Abyss. So 1 for 1 should be a no-brainer. It's really good in this deck. You could also replace Called by the Graves with like Monster Reborn, Pot of Avarice, other stuff like that if you don't want to play those. So easily sub these out. You don't have to play them. But that's the main deck. I'm pretty happy with it. The main part of this whole thing, there's basically 2 cards that I'm wanting to get to add to the extra deck. I'll explain those as we get to them. Starting off with the Mermail link monster we got, Abyssalacia. Basically just requires you either have 2 fish, sea serpent, or aqua monsters. Monsters this card points to gains 500 attack and defense, and then during your opponent's turn, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and add a Mermail monster from your deck to your hand. That's obviously the main effect you're using this for, but you can also, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's attack or card effect, you can send a water monster from your deck to your graveyard, then target a water monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. So, again, potentially loading up your graveyard with some good cards, plus special summoning 1 for free. Really nice. And then we play 1 area, similar to Hita, if you remember that Link fire monster. This one, you're going to make it with 2 water monsters, and then you target a water monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to a zone this points to. So again, pretty nice for link climbing potentially. And then Star Boy just requires 2 water. All your water monsters gain 500 attack and defense. And then if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, target a water monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. And then the last link that we're playing is Curious. It's actually fairly easy to make because it just requires 3 monsters of the same attribute, which we have all water, but a different type, which we're playing quite a few different types and even more if you count instant fusion. So Curious is just going to be able to send one of your water monsters that you need to the grave, like Fishborg Launcher or just other combo pieces. Nice sometimes. At the moment, the link that I'm really going to add is Marincess Coral Anemone. That is an amazing link card for water decks, and it's $10, right around $10. So that is one I will be. It'll be on my updated Mermail deck whenever I do that. That is an amazing card for this deck. And then for our synchros, because they're also very easy to make, Brionac is our level 6. You just discard any number of cards to the graveyard, target the same number of cards your opponent controls, and return those to the hand. And then we play Deep Sea Prima Donna. This one is your level 7, and you can target one of your opponent's banished cards, add to your hand, or special summon a level 4 or lower water monster from your deck. And if you do, you add that banished target to your opponent's hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 banished card and shuffle into the deck. So it's a decent enough one. I like it. And then our level 8 is Adamancipator Ryzen Dragite. Very, very good. This is your spell trap negate, or just effect negate, basically. When your opponent activates spell trap or effect while a water monster is in your graveyard, you negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So really nice to have that on board, especially going first, obviously. And then one of our level 9s is Ravenous Crocodragon. Very good. Just requires 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. Gains 500 attack for each card in your hand. So it's at a base 1,000, so you can potentially get it up pretty high. And if this card is synchro summoned, you draw cards equal to the number of non-tuners used for its summon. So a lot of times that's going to be 2 if you use 2 non-tuners. Kind of nice. And its quick effect is you discard 2 cards and target 1 card in the field and destroy it. So again, he's a water monster, so if you're discarding some of these important water monsters to the grave, you'll be able to get some of their effects off. He's really nice. And the other level 9 we're playing is the Big Daddy Trishula. Really nice. This one does require a tuner and 2 non-tuners though. But when it's synchro summoned, banish 1 card from your opponent's hand, field, graveyard. Absolutely amazing. And then now on to the Xyz. So this part's still fairly budget. The Xyz, this one is the main one. Bahamut Shark. You're basically making him. He just requires 2 level 4 to go into totally awesome. So these are the pricey ones. You definitely don't have to play them. An option for another rank 4 Xyz is this 37 Hope. Sorry, it's not focusing. Hope Woven Spider Shark. He's pretty cool. So yeah, if you don't have these and you don't want to spend too much money on them, pick up a card like this. This one's really cool. And then my rank 7 currently is Red Eyes Flare, and I'll explain why I went with this one. You can go with, you can go with Big Eye, Draco Sack, whatever you want, basically, for your rank 7. But I went with this one. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. And then while this card has material, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, you're inflicting 500 damage. So I thought that was kind of cool because you're affecting your opponent's hand a lot, and you can OTK very easily. So I thought, why not have a card that just is going to do some damage to your opponent? Just anytime they play something, you're doing 500 damage, and it can't be destroyed. So by card effects. So I thought that was a nice one. I will definitely in the future be replacing this with Mermail Abyssgaios. He's another one that I think he's 10 to 15 bucks. It's your rank 7 basically for Mermails, and he's very good. So be replacing him with that Mermail Abyssgaios. And then of course you saw it already, but we're playing the True King of All Calamities. Cool little combo, that you could do with it and go into him very easily. And then our 2 instant fusion targets, like I said, I'm going to be cutting one of these out. But at the moment, Mud Dragon, it's a level 4 water worm type, so you can go into Bahamut Shark. You can also go into Curious fairly easily. And then I also am playing Sea Monster of Theseus, because this is a level 5 tuner, and it's also a zombie type water monster. So obviously none of your other water types are zombies. So again, this is another easy way of going to Curious or any of your synchros pretty easily. So that's the deck, guys. Let me know what you think about the closer angle if you like that. But yeah, this is just kind of version 1 of this deck. We will definitely be updating it. It's a really fun deck to try to come up with new ideas and just play around with. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.